Yo. You know what time it is. It's time for a brand new Hockey Happy Hour coming at you. We're doing live reaction to the Rangers and the Avalanche. We're going to recap the last couple games of the Philadelphia Flyers. We got a lot to talk about. Hey, guess what? Phillies are in the World fucking Series. Let's go. Hit that like, Sorry, let me try that again. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I got a little overexcited. Let's go.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck night! Oh, this game can heat stink!
Oh, shit!
It's gone!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour live on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Sinsuti, along with the Darkwing, Brian Daly.
What up?
And the Broken One, Rob Povia.
Here's Robbie.
And the blue shirt wearing Mr. Broadway himself, Mr. Brad Ryer. And we welcome everybody to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. And yes, as Bryce said at the very beginning, yes, the Phillies are in the World Series. And I don't know how that happened. It just kind of did.
Got hot at the right time. He got the clutch pitching when they needed it.
That's why Brian was so flustered. It's a magical run. It gets you flustered. I know. I remember from 2015. Jesus Christ.
Or collectively for Brad, 2014. Or for us, 2010. And Bri, of course, 2007, which resulted in the Stanley Cup. So there's been plenty of magic to be found every once in a while. Every once in a while, though, is the key word. All right. So we welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour, brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code at A2D at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code at A2D at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. Because you know what? Confidence is key in this world, and you need to have it. And nothing better than taking care of those sensitive regions to bring that confidence up just a little bit and make you feel good. Make you feel really good about yourself. So, Manscaped, 20% off. Get it done. All right. And the poll question brought to you by BetUS, which is the leading online sports book. It's been in the market for over 25 years. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. Use the link that you see down below, and you'll get 125% sign-up bonus. And, well, might as well try it out because they make yourself a little money on the side, get a little side hustle going. And the poll question for tonight, gentlemen, is John Tortorella is the best thing to happen to the Flyers. Agree or disagree? Well, we had a debate on the hiring of Tortorella, and now that we have had some results in the books, a lot of positives. What are our feelings on John Tortorella right now? Agree or disagree? Take it away, gents.
Who wants to go first?
I'll jump in real quick, boys. I ripped Torts over the years. You guys know this.
Oh, yeah.
I was not too fond when his name came up, but I have to say, ever since camp started, even the pressers leading up to camp, let alone this hot start the Flyers have had, despite still in that rebuilding process, you got to say he's the right man for the job. A coach we didn't even know we wanted or we needed. I mean, he's a disciplinarian. He showed on Saturday that he'll bench his top 2 forwards to send a message to the whole team, and that it doesn't matter what name is on the back of that jersey. If you're not playing for the logo on the front, you won't play. And that makes this team just more mentally tough, which they desperately needed. Obviously, we've talked about his defensive style would be good for Hart, and it's showing that it's allowing Hart to shine between the pipes so far. I think he's roughly got a 949, 950, 949 save percentage, a 175 goals against. It all starts there with Carter. You got to like the strong forecheck his system brings too. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of, he talks about bringing a culture back to an organization that desperately needs it right now.
No, absolutely. And I'm not sure where I lean on this one yet, because for me it's a to be determined. We have a small sample size here in 6 games under John Tortorella. This team has absolutely looked almost night and day from last year. I think he's done a lot of good. I think that they're responding well to his system. I think you're seeing a lot of, the little things being done that they didn't do last year, like winning puck battles, beating guys out to pucks, and the little things that they weren't doing last year, protecting the blue paint, doing a lot of good things. As of right now, for me, it's to be determined. It's too small of a sample size for me to agree or disagree with this personally. But I mean, I see a lot of good things, and if they continue to build off of this and they can remain healthy, I think this team could really make a huge turnaround in a very short window here.
It's fair.
All right. Brad, of course, you have plenty of experience with John Tortorella.
I am not one bit surprised. Okay, I told you guys about him, that he would be good for you guys. I never had any doubt in my mind he would help this team. I don't know how successful they're going to be over the long course of the season. There may be too much of a I don't want to say lack of talent, but lack of experience on this team for them to remain as highly competitive as they've been. But I will say this, and I used to say this about a lot of young teams. I can remember as far back as when I was a kid about how they used to say about the Oakland Seals. Okay, that when they lost all their guys to the WHA and they came out with nobody, and they were having some of those miserable seasons. They came out and skated their butts off, and that's what the Flyers are doing. And you know what? If you don't match their intensity, they're going to beat you. Tampa Bay learned that the hard way. Okay, and New Jersey found out the hard way. Florida did not exactly run them over. Florida only beat them by 1 goal. They had a pretty strong outing against and I'll tell you what, even though they scored the 3rd goal to lose 4-3 with 1 second to go, that told me something. Okay, this team's going to fight for you guys, and he's going to fight for the coach for 60 minutes, and that's a real good sign. Look, they're going to have some stinky nights. Everybody does. This is the National Hockey League. Okay, they're going to be nights like that against the Sharks. Okay, I mean, the Rangers got beat by the Sharks too. So I mean, the Sharks get paid to play hockey just like everybody else does. Okay, it's going to happen. But you know what? One thing I will say about the Flyers, and especially the veterans, if they don't come out and play hard, they're not going to play. And I told you guys that too. Tortorella is kind of like got the Mike Keenan bug, if you know what I mean. Okay, he isn't clown like with the goaltenders the way Keenan used to be. Okay, but he will. I mean, if you remember, Keenan sat Brian Leetch in Game 4 of the Ranger Devil series back in 1994 when the Rangers won their cup in Game 4 because he was all pissed off at Brian Leetch. So I mean, and you know what? Tortorella is the exact same kind of guy. He'll do that too. He doesn't care if you're not going out there and giving honor to the jersey. You're gonna sit, and the whole building is gonna notice, and he'll especially do it at home to make a point. Not going to do it as much on the road. Because on the road, nobody notices. Okay?
I mean,
at home, everybody notices. So
yeah. I remember that, that clip that defines Mike Keenan in a lot of ways still to me was when he pulled Ed Belfour right near him because Ed Belfour was ignoring him because he was trying to talk to him, and Ed Belfour had his face turned away from him, and so he just grabbed him by the jersey and yanked him like as close as he could pull him. And it's like, you're going to fucking listen to me. And it's like, Jesus. It's like, that pretty much defined Mike Keenan right there.
I will say this about Tortorella, though. Tortorella has calmed down a lot since his Ranger days. Okay, he's not nearly as brutal as he used to be, as far as his demeanor and everything else. Being mean and all the other stuff that goes along with it. So at this point, I would say he is the best thing that's happened to you guys. He's going to teach those kids how to play defense if it kills him. Even if he gets fired, you know what? They're going to be in a much better situation while he's around when he came here. Because these guys are going to play defense, they're going to forecheck, and they're going to learn how to play the game the right way.
Looks like Colorado's not getting a power play here.
I don't know if Colorado's getting the power play or not. They didn't do it. I don't know why they even called the penalty on the Rangers.
Because they saw the high stick. Devon Toews was right there, and you clearly saw Devon Toews high stick his own teammate, and it wasn't Lafreniere. I think that's what they're reviewing.
Yeah, I mean, as usual, the NHL officials are completely incompetent, and once again, this is showing.
Clown talk.
I just didn't know you could review a penalty call. When were you able to do this?
I think it's only I think only officials can do that.
Oh, okay.
But it looks like it's not going back in the Rangers' favor, judging by Gallant's reaction.
Oh, you know what? That's awful. That's awful. And against this power play, well, Rangers better kill it. They get down 2-0. The route is going to be on because they're not going to catch this team. Last year, the Rangers got their brains beat in by this team twice. So the only difference is the goalie who played for the Rangers in that game is now on Colorado.
Oh, well, how ironic.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Georgiev. So hopefully they kill this penalty, but that's a bad call. Oh well. I mean, you can't.
All right, so let's take a look here.
They'll never change it because you know how in all sports it seems like these officials are very stubborn.
Well, I mean, that's just normal. But let's take a look, see what the fans have got for us, or what the fans got for us. Well, we got Frank saying, "What's up, Gucci Gang? What's up, Frank?" Chuck saying, "Yo, gentlemen." What's going on, Chucks? Ted saying, "Becky Lynch's entrance song is our new goal song." Yeah, I heard that. Great move by the Flyers PR. Mania coming to Philly, probably part of it, too. That is true. WrestleMania is coming to Philadelphia in a couple of years.
Right.
So.
Right.
Wow.
I forgot about that. Also, a lot of teams are starting to do that, too, where they're taking wrestling theme songs and making them goal songs because a lot of them can work. And I think Becky's works for that, too.
Right. A lot of wrestling themes work for it. Wrestling themes in general work for great hype moments, you know? That's what they're meant for. They're meant to get you fucking hyped. Or to make you laugh. Depends on the gimmick. But anyway, let's see here. Prism saying, "Let's go, boys." He also says, "I was calling for Tortorella when they fired AV."
Truth.
And Rosca saying, "What's up, boys? It's all about the Ducks."
They suck.
And then Jake saying, "What up, boys? I know it's early, but the Flyers look like a completely different team, and we've seen what happened after the Phillies moved on from Girardi. Maybe the Sixers should take the hint."
They might.
And Roscoe also said,
if they start losing games at home to bad teams, that's not going to look good for Doc Rivers. That's for sure.
Roscoe saying the LA Rams will win again this Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know if that has any major bearing on anything. Oh, we got a paid premium comment. Let me see here.
Appreciate
Where
that.
is that? It is American Loyalist. I think he did that last time too. So thank you once again, American Loyalist, for the $4.99. He says, I fear Fletcher stays and the Flyers are still banned. Well, in this situation right now, Fletcher probably has to be feeling comfortable. I mean, John Tortorella seems so far, keyword is so far, like Bryce said a few moments ago when we were going through the poll, still an early small sample size. We haven't really seen a full month from Tortorella yet. We haven't even seen really any major long stretches of road or home stretches. So we're still waiting for that. If we get a few of those in the bag, which we will come November and December, we'll have those done. Then we'll see. We'll see where everything's at then. Then we can kind of gauge it a little bit better with how everything's going.
Well, Maddie, regardless of what Torts does or does not do, we talked about this during the preseason that, American Loyalist fear is legitimate here because no matter what the Flyers do, Fletcher stays because of the excuse we're in a rebuild. So if they overachieve, cool. If they underachieve, well, we're in a rebuild. So I don't really question him being on the hot seat when it's not like you have a team of aging veterans that you got to make the playoffs and make a run now or else it's over.
I'll tell you what, guys. In speaking of something like that, when you have a team that's I'm going to use the Giants for an example, okay? Gettleman made more excuses than anybody I've ever seen in my life so that he could keep his job, okay? First, Eli Manning was going to be the quarterback, okay? Then he decides he's going to draft Daniel Jones, okay, and let Daniel Jones be the quarterback. So that was free season number one, okay? Free season number two was Daniel Jones plays, Daniel Jones gets hurt, okay? Free season number three, we're going to build an offensive. I'm going to sign a bunch of offensive linemen and draft a bunch of offensive linemen, okay? And then they all get hurt. So that was another free season, and then he goes and he trades for Leonard Williams and gives up a second and a fifth round pick when they could have just signed him as a free agent. Which that was the beginning of the end when he did that. And then finally everybody saw through his bullshit last year. With after Jones got hurt yet again, and all the and all the other guys on the team quit basically. So
gotta love that.
I don't. If you see the players, I think as long as the players don't quit on this team, I think that they're going to be okay. I don't think that your coach gets fired, but if he or general manager, but if they the players start quitting again, the general manager's got to answer for it. I mean, it's enough already.
Right.
Agreed. 1,000% agreed.
I mean,
right.
you can't sit here and blame Tortorella for that, obviously, but Tortorella's going to teach them, and I guarantee you their goals against average is going to be a lot lower this year. And I said that at the beginning of the season than it was last year. So, that's kind of a given.
All right.
So you gotta look at the whole picture here. Okay, is the team a lot more competitive? Yes.
So far,
when they lose, are they getting when they lost? Other than the San Jose game, which was a stinker. Okay, but the other games they went in and won in Tampa Bay, which is really hard to do. Trust me, I've seen a lot of teams struggle in that building. Okay,
maybe a particular team in the playoffs.
Yeah, precisely. Okay, and they on back-to-back road games, they gave Florida a hell of a hard time. I mean, they didn't lose that game till late, so I think you gotta kind of give them a little bit of a break here. I mean, they get rolling again tomorrow. Who do they play tomorrow, by the way?
They play the Panthers in their second match of the season series, this time in Philadelphia.
Thursday, though. Yeah, not tomorrow, but yep.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Thursday. My bad.
Oh, it's Thursday. Okay, my bad.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
Yep. Sometimes I
so-
forget what day it is, so I was going to give you a pass, but just clarifying for the leaders.
Yes, we
Okay.
definitely don't want to be spreading out false information here.
No, God, I'm so sorry. I mean, I know it's not my team, but I thought I
It's
saw.
okay, Brad.
I thought
It's
it's.
all
I
right.
felt like Big Erd and Kingpin right there.
It's all right. It's all right, Brad. The lawsuits are in the mail for false information. And
Oh, there you
it's
go.
all right.
But no, you know what? I think you're going to see them play very competitively against the Panthers, and you know what? That's another game. If they stay out of the penalty box, they should be okay. The Panthers are great. Have always been since they started playing better a couple of years ago. They've always been really good at home, but they've been a little shaky on the road. So you'll probably, you probably won't get Bobrovsky either. You'll probably get Spencer Knight. So you certainly will. I think you're going to have a chance to win that game.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. We'll get into that later on. I got a whole breakdown of game one, how they matched up and how that could translate for game two on the season series.
Perfect for the second period. All right, then. Let's see here. We got Anthony saying, hey, guys, Brad, let's go Avalanche. I think he doesn't want the Rangers to win.
Don't worry, you'll probably get your wish. I mean, they are the Stanley Cup champions. It's not like we're losing to. It's not like we're losing to San Jose this time. We're actually playing a pretty good team. So, yeah, giving up 21 shots though in the first period is not conducive to winning. To winning a hockey game, especially against the Avalanche. So, I think the Rangers should be counting their blessings that they're only down 1-0. They really didn't have much going until after that. They had a good penalty kill on that second penalty kill. Maybe they got mad enough to start playing better. So I don't know. We'll see. If they keep giving up 21 shots, it's going to be a lot worse than 1-0. I don't care how good Igor is. He's not going to be able to keep them in the game.
Right. And Bryce saying, yo, what's up, Bryce?
What up, Bryce?
Also saying, good start by the Flyers. Hopefully we could keep it going and maybe even get a trade. Unfortunately, though, we do have some bad news. Hopefully he'll be back soon enough, and that's unfortunately that JVR is hurt. So, speaking of trades, because anytime JVR scores, I'm just like, that's right, JVR, up that trade value, baby. Up that trade value. Trade deadline's going to be here before you know it. What you say?
Somebody must be mad at the Flyers, upstairs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you guys seriously have that team has just no luck at all right now. I mean, you get a guy who you're going to probably is almost a definite trade candidate at the trade deadline, and he comes out flying this year, and then he gets hurt on probably what was a fluke play.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's funny you talk about their poor luck, and right when I get that, I get an NHL notification that Coyotes Shane Gostisbehere sneaks up on the Blue Jackets and buries a beautiful pass for second of the game. Yes. Yes. Go Spare. Lifelong fan.
Remember, Flyers got great trade value for him.
Yeah, look what he's doing in Arizona now.
I don't recall them getting anybody all that good for him. Did they? Maybe I'm wrong.
No.
They had
they got nothing
for them to take his contract. They
What?
gave the pick and Gostisbehere for future considerations.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so in other words, they had to pay them and give up a draft pick to. Oh.
Yeah.
Still,
Yeah, that
Coyotes
was
could put
the
them on their cap. Yeah.
That was like with the Rangers with Mark Stahl. They had to give up a second-round pick to Detroit just to get them to take him.
Exactly.
All right, so let's see here.
Ted
Ted saying,
stinks, though.
right. And Ted saying, no coaches can challenge. If you're wrong, other team gets penalized. They're on the penalty kill because how dare anyone question the refs? Obviously referencing what you guys were talking about there a few moments ago with that call. President saying the Ducks will only be known as Ucks until they learn to play D. Interesting.
I
I
see
see
what
the
you did there.
creative wordplay there.
boy.
He's right, though. He's right. They haven't been playing defense at all. The best game they played was against Boston all year. That was it. Otherwise, they haven't played defense all season.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I would say something, but unfortunately, Flyers haven't exactly had the most thrilling defenses in the world over the last few seasons. So,
I mean, they're playing better than they are right now.
let's see.
Yes, they
Dylan,
are.
what's up, brother? Saying, yo, fam, what's going on? I'm going to hold off on the agree to the poll. Way too early to say anything. Gotcha. And Anthony's saying the entrance song for the Flyers pretty stupid. If anything, I would have the acclaim as the entrance song.
Scissor me, daddy. Yeah.
See, I think like we will rock you from Queen.
Oh, hell yeah.
That would have been a really good entrance theme for the Flyers, because they actually have some guys that can really rock you right now.
Yeah, it actually means something. Although I would say, goal song wise, maybe now that retro is always a cool thing, maybe throw it back to Van Halen. Why not? They used to do it back in the day. Bring it back. Bring back the Van Halen for the goal song. I don't think anybody would complain about that.
The beginning of Hot for Teacher? Come on, that gets everybody out of their seats.
Oh, yeah, that drum solo? Come on.
Hell yeah.
Stop it.
Hell yeah.
I'm all about that.
Or Unchained. That'd be a great goal song.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Ooh, yeah.
Look, the worst goal song I think has got to be the Blackhawks one.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Sounds like a ballet is going to start after when that song goes up.
Good old Chelsea dagger coming out of nowhere.
The Blue Jackets have a nice one, blowing a cannon.
Oh yeah, because they do AC/DCs for those about to rock, and then they shoot the cannon off, which is always awesome. That's
a nice touch. They got that one. They got that part down. Now, if they can actually have a representative team.
Hey, listen, they won a playoff series, and they made the play. Actually, they've won 2 playoff series, and they made the playoffs a few times. That is a Stanley Cup in their history. So let's give them a little bit of credit.
I know, but you know what? They've been until they played the Rangers the other night. They've been really stinking it up.
Right. We thought they were going to be good. It's like all of a sudden, holy shit.
I mean, I get it. Laine's hurt, but that they shouldn't be giving up so many goals, though.
Right.
I mean, I can understand if they're having trouble scoring goals without Laine, but what's that have to do with them giving up so many?
Let's see.
Maybe Elvis needs to not be in the building.
It's the Elvis that was doing the fat Elvis, the jumpsuit Elvis. It wasn't the Elvis that
mean
was
the fat
wearing the leather and making the teens fawn over him.
The fat out of shape Elvis. Yes.
Yeah, it's what I do.
Yeah, I heard you play guitar the other day.
Yeah, I randomly put that up on Facebook and Instagram for no really good reason, just because.
Yeah, hey man, never a bad time to pull out the old guitar and play a little.
No, I was playing a little today too.
Nice.
I didn't record anything though.
You should. You absolutely should. All right. Dylan saying, go Flames, go. Let's beat Pittsburgh tonight. Hopefully Huberdeau gets his first tonight. I will agree. 110%. Everybody should beat Pittsburgh. And yes, I will chant that. Go Flames, go on that one. Let's see. Yeah. Ted saying, was talking to a guy who covered Bedard. He's comparing him to Jack Hughes. Could you imagine we win the lottery first time in franchise history and we don't get a scoring superstar, just Jack Hughes 2.0?
That'd be such a Philly thing to do.
Yeah.
You guys are badly
not
underestimating Jack Hughes.
Yeah, true.
I think so too.
True.
He's got a goal tonight at least.
Jack Hughes is gonna be a big time player this year. So I mean,
I need to see it.
Last year, and he was hurt half the season, and he had some pretty good numbers.
I need to see it. before I could believe it. Too many fools. You know the teams I follow, Brad. How many times I've been fooled? Come on now.
Yeah, I
I
know.
feel you
I,
on
I
that.
know. I get
Oh,
it. I
bitter
get
old
it.
man.
I
I
get
mean,
it.
I feel you, Rob. I
Get
mean,
off my lawn.
he, Jack is in a he's in a tough situation though with the Devils. You know, stuck in a rebuild with, in my opinion, a mediocre head coach and in a mediocre system. That's not really. I just don't think the system really benefits Jack Hughes' playing style. So I mean, if they can get a good coach in there like a Barry Trotz, who's been linked to quite a few teams for next season, including Anaheim. Yeah, I think he could really benefit from a Barry Trotz style of offense where he's going to be able to score 30 to 40 goals a year. And if that's the case, I'll take the Jack Hughes comp to Connor Bedard if that's how it's going to go down.
I'll tell you what.
Well,
I think a good AV would be a good coach for the Devils right now to get that offense going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
now, do you think that the Devils might be a little bit hesitant on AV after the blow up with Philadelphia?
No, I don't think. I don't think so because I think that was a unique situation. Okay,
Okay,
AV did a nice job with the Rangers. You know,
he did.
he made them a
He
real
did.
good offensive team. And you know, when AV came to the Flyers the first year that he came there,
They were
they had
spectacular. Yeah.
yeah, and then I mean I don't know what happened the following season. It's unknown
The
to me
pandemic.
how you can fall so far down one year and then even get worse the next year. That I just cannot understand how that happened, but it did. So you know, but nonetheless, he is an offensive coach, and and you give him creative players, he's always done well with them. So I mean, he's better. Listen, they had Lindy Ruff as their coach. Lindy Ruff has done nothing in his career other than Buffalo but that was 1999.
Yeah, it was 99.
I mean, that's a long time ago.
I mean, he had
Hockey's changed
some.
a little bit since 1999.
Yeah, I mean, his last like really great year, obviously with Buffalo, was like 2007 when the Sabres were like number one overall in the East, and I believe they lost to the Rangers that year in the playoffs. I could be wrong,
No, they
but
beat the Rangers that year.
oh, okay, they lost in the next round then.
Yeah, no, don't tease me. The Rangers got that game tied against them with 7 seconds to go, and then
Oh,
lost with like 5 seconds to go in the first overtime. So
oh.
I
Whoops.
mean,
Well,
you have to rub it in, don't you?
no. Actually, that was not on purpose. I legitimately forgot who they lost to in 07. Listen, I tried to keep 07 out of my head as much as possible because the Flyers didn't exactly do a whole hell of a lot in 07. I think we can unfortunately recall. But anyway.
That was the Chris
All
Drury
right.
year. Those were the Chris Drury years.
Yes. Although the Sabres had those ugly ass jerseys where they had that navy blue and that weird looking buffalo fucking on the jersey. I was like, that is
Yeah,
one ugly
was
freaking
silly.
jersey.
Yeah, they had such cool they had such cool white and blue jerseys, home and road jerseys. I don't know why they would find the need to change it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even the silver and black jerseys, I actually thought, you did way better in those jerseys than you did wearing the other ones. So you know what? You might as well just keep those around.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of the Sabres, I think they played pretty well this year so far.
Well, I mean, they're kind of looking at it from we got nothing to lose. Eichel's gone, go for broke now at this point, which, I mean, hey, it's very freeing, very liberating when you don't have any pressure on you and you're just like, okay, let's go with it. Let's see what we got,
Well, it's kind of similar to the Flyers right now.
Right. Like,
I mean, sometimes not having to press up your butt all the time and everybody being demanding with you can help. Sometimes it just can, especially with a young team. The last thing they need is to be nagged and nagged and nagged.
Right. And Bryce was saying true. And then he also goes on to say, we really need to rebuild. And he said, but we'll see. Anthony goes on to say, the team is not bad, just needs more weapons. Ted then goes on to say, haven't there been quotes from Torts about problems with the roster? Torts definitely gets Fletcher thrown out the door. That would be interesting. He goes over his head, and
that could happen.
It'd be interesting if there would be a war between Torts and Fletch there, and then he goes over Fletch's head and be like, yo, this guy's a crumb. He needs to get the fuck out of here, right?
Well, what they might listen to. They might listen to Torts, though. That's the thing.
Right. I mean, if the Flyers continue to have a great season.
Torts did that with Sather, and unfortunately for him, the Rangers owner doesn't give a shit about anybody other than his little rock and roll band and the Knicks. So Mr. Dolan is not exactly the owner that's involved with the Rangers. He couldn't care less. It's like, oh, do I have a hockey team? Oh, okay. Oh, they didn't make the playoffs for a couple of years. Okay, let's fire the general manager and fire the coach. What the heck?
That's great ownership, right there.
Let's ignore the fact that general manager brought in almost every player that's on this team right now. We'll ignore all that.
Yeah. Let's treat
nothing against Drury, and I think Drury's done a good job. But Davidson did a heck of a job rebuilding his team. If we were talking about the Rangers,
right? I mean, a lot of great players have come into that organization, and they're shining right now. So which is always pleasant to see as a Flyers fan. But but great for you, great for you. All right. John going on to say, Tuesday night, the Hockey Happy Hour, or what I like to call 3 handsome bastards and a Rangers fan. Thank you. I'll be here all night. Try the veal. I heard it's delicious. Well done, John.
I love veal.
That was the Jimmy Snuka. Remember this?
Oh, well, I went this way. But yeah, he used to do this. I went this way, but he used to do this.
Yeah, no, did he do this or this? I can't remember.
No, he did the
That was the I love you thing when he was jumping off the top rope.
Right, yeah, he would do that. Yeah, because that was his thing to do. His signature.
when he went to the top of the steel cage and nailed Roddy Piper.
No. That was Don Morocco. He came off the top and he landed on Don Morocco. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Yes, I am a wrestling historian. I will admit this.
I'm sorry. You're right. It was Don Morocco. I forgot. He never got Piper in a steel cage.
No, although that would have been a fun match.
Yeah, he wanted Piper in a steel cage.
Right. Let's see here. Prism saying, who could quit when they have Superman on the roster leading the way? Ah, man. And Superman tried. Boy, did he try against the Sharks. Unfortunately, nothing was getting by Reimer that night. Reimer decided to have unfortunately, the torture session for me on Sunday night between the Sharks and the Flyers. And Reimer's like, of course, Reimer has to have a great game against the Flyers. He couldn't have one against anybody else. I'm like, Reims, you wait until you face the Flyers. Could you not do this against somebody else, like, say, the Islanders? Could you not? Like, Jesus, man. Although, to be fair, I think Kakkonen was in net that night, and, Kakkonen was, Kakkonen. Anyway.
Well, I mean, Reimer's a solid goaltender. He's not a franchise guy, but he's a solid goaltender. He's just super streaky.
He is. He can be, which is why I think he's been on so many teams in his time. But
he's been on good teams. He has been.
He has been. I mean, he was on that Toronto team that famously lost that 7th game against. All right, maybe that was a bad example. But anyway.
Oh, you mean the overtime game? You mean the game against the Bruins? Oh.
Yeah, that really whew, boy, Vic Reemstek was on that team.
Wasn't it 5-1 with 10 minutes to go in the third period?
Yeah, it was bad. That was.
Yeah. It was 5. It was 5-1. It was either 5-1 or 6. It was something ridiculous.
Oh, it was awful. It should have been a win. It really should have been a win for the Maple Leafs. They should have won that series, and the Bruins had no business winning that game. But the Leafs were determined to keep the curse going of not getting out of the first round that day.
Yeah, you think?
Oh, man. I actually laughed, and I hated the fact that the Bruins won, but I couldn't help but laugh. I'm like, how the fuck did that happen? Like, seriously, that should have
The whole league was laughing when that happened. The whole league seems to laugh at Toronto, because Toronto always thinks that they're the center of attention all the time, which they're really not, but they think they are. You know what I mean?
They are a franchise that predicts they're going to win the cup every year, and ultimately
and they
never gets out of the first round.
They always make like they're the center of attention. They have to think that they're. It always has to be. Well, we're better than Montreal, so we must. And since Montreal is the gold standard, which they're not, they haven't been for 30 years
Decades.
now. That's all they need to do, and it's like, nah, sorry guys, there's 28 other teams now besides you and Montreal. Sorry.
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ted's saying Hart is 4-0. He has been awesome. Yes, he has. And yes, Carter Hart. Let's give a shout out to our boy, the pride and joy of Philadelphia right now. Well, I can't really say that. That's probably Bryce Harper. But still, the pride and joy of the Flyers.
Watch your tongue.
But the pride and joy of the Flyers, Carter Hart, 4-0 right now, kicking ass and taking names. That's what we love to see. It's going to make when we face the Rangers against Shesterkin that much more fun.
When does that happen? I don't think
oh, God.
I
I'm
don't think
not
the Rangers
sure.
played them for a while. I think.
Yeah. I think they were they're getting a lot of those weird interdivision, interleague games out of the interconference games out of the way, I think, early. That's why.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, I mean, when teams are already going on West Coast trips, like Pittsburgh is going through the Central Canada thing. That's this early in the season. That's a little strange.
Yeah,
but it's good because they're going to lose a lot of those games. So
true.
Yeah, that'll cool them off a little bit.
Swoopy saying, "Hey gentlemen, what's up, Swoopy?"
I'm not sure Swoopy can hear us at the moment.
Oh, what is there an issue on Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, everybody out there on Facebook. Even if you can't hear us too much or anything, we apologize for the issues that we're having right now. We're going to try and get those taken care of.
Sorry you can't hear us on Facebook, but we're going to apologize to you anyway.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I'm trying to be nice here.
No, the feed's frozen.
Oh, that sucks ass. Lovely internet. Lovely. I'm blaming Zuck on that one. I'm blaming Zuck. It's all his fault. Fuck you, Zuck.
So's Frank, so it's fine. I kind of figured that's what it was because the stream itself is just frozen.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm checking YouTube to make sure we're still good over there. Which we
should
be because we're still getting comments from everybody.
All right. Okay. Prism saying, it's a bird, it's a plane. Nah, bitch, it's Super Scott. That's what I'm talking about. That's exact. Yes. You know what? Scott Lawton, anytime he comes out now, the Superman theme has to come on. It just has to happen. Or if he scores a goal, it's a specific goal song for him. It's the Superman theme. And yes, from the movie, the right Superman theme.
So now he's not just scoring against the Rangers. He's decided to bring it to against other teams too.
Right. Which is the way it's supposed to be.
Because he had the Boston Scott thing going with the Rangers.
Yeah.
With Boston Scott with the Giants. You don't hear from him all season until he plays the Giants.
Not often you see somebody get the best of Kel McCarr. It looks like Artemi Panarin got the best of him on that little rush.
Right now he's playing at a very, very high level.
It's tied for most of the NHL in points with 12.
Yep.
I've always liked him.
Patrick Kane just scored a goal.
Oh, up in that trade value. Just keep on up in the trade value.
Yep.
I mean, they're 3-2 right now, so if they keep climbing, if they keep playing well enough,
I don't know if they. It's only a matter of time. Boy, the Rangers.
Just give it time. Just give it time. They'll eventually fall.
It's only a matter of time. I mean, they gave up weights. I still don't understand that trade with Ottawa. What was the point of doing that?
To get get that extra first. I mean, I
Yeah,
still
but
think they
I
undersold the
understand getting
brinket,
a
but
first round pick, but geez, but Ottawa's going to be pretty good now. No, I mean they should be. You would think, and I mean DeBrincat is a really good player. How do you trade him? I don't care if it's a first round pick. How do you trade him? That's you when you get a first round pick, you're hoping to God you get a player as good as him. Oh,
and
nice
I think
save
they
by
did.
Igor.
I gotta double check to see who they took, but I'm pretty sure they did. Senators are actually 4-2 right now. They're sitting at the bottom of the Atlantic.
They're 4-2, and they're at the
Mhm.
bottom of the Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
That'll change.
Well, look at it this way. All right, so Senators are right now sitting in last at 4-2. Red Wings are 3-0-2, which are about to be 3-1-2 if they didn't come back in that game against the Devils. Buffalo is 4-1. Panthers are 4-1. Boston is 5-1.
And where's
Yeah,
Tampa
I believe
Bay?
it, man.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay was
Boston-
struggling a little bit.
Fucking Boston, could you just like eat
Oh,
a
yeah,
dick
Tampa's
for
had a
like
problem.
once in your life? Jesus, Boston, stop
But
fucking being good.
But overall, the East as a whole is looking like you're going to need 100 points to make the playoffs, because I believe it was when the Flyers were playing Nashville, they said at that time, the East versus the West, the East was up like 24, 25, 24, 5, and let's say 5 as well. I forget the ties, but they had an overwhelming majority of the wins against the West. If that trend continues,
Oh my God.
Jesus. Yeah, so 100-point standard. We're gonna keep that shit rolling. That's just lovely.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right. Greg's
that's
saying,
not gonna
"What's
make
up,
things
fellas?"
Hey, Greg being negative as usual.
Oh, you know.
I'll tell you what, Georgiev just stoned Lafreniere.
oh,
Speaking of,
he knows his
being
moves.
negative.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're going to be a negative. Ted saying, "Why did Sarah Jessica Parker or Sarah Jessica Bryan pick Dallas to beat the Eagles? Come on, Parker."
I don't know who that is, but we better figure out who the hell that is. I don't know who that is on our show, but Kevin Korchinski is who Chicago took at 7 with the DeBrincat deal. He's going to be a good player, though. I don't know if he'll be at the
As good
DeBrincat's
as
level, but he's
DeBrincat,
going to be a
though?
good player. We'll find out.
Yeah, I guess. Here's the problem with that. This is why I was so opposed to that trade. DeBrincat's only 24 years old.
Mm.
I mean, if he was
Yeah, but
if
when
he
you're,
was if he was 28 and he's in his prime, then I can understand. Then I can understand it. But when you're 24,
yeah, but when you
I
have
mean,
no other
DeBrincat
value,
could end up being like a guy who scores 50 every year.
I don't know if he's going to score 50 every year, but
He scored
I mean,
42.
I get what you're
Man.
saying. I get what you're saying. But when you're looking at that roster and you look at, there's not really much talent anywhere else unless you're going to trade Taves, which is a hard contract to move. Kane right now, that's going to be easier contract to move. You're not moving Seth Jones right now.
No.
You're not probably not going to move Seth Jones until the end of his deal. It's probably going to wind up being like JVR here. It's just is what it is. And I mean, DeBrincat's the only one that you're really going to be able to move easier because he's going to be. I think he was going to be RFA. It's easier to move and get some value back.
Yeah,
No, I
no.
love
I
what-
mean, listen, I get that, but trading 24-year-old players. I mean, look at how the Rangers got burnt by trading JT Miller. You know, it's never a good idea to do that. You know, I don't care if you're getting a first round pick. When a guy's already, you know, a star player, and they're young like that, does it make sense? It's like trading Juan Soto. I mean, how old is Juan Soto?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but in that same breath, in order to get something, you got to move something. And like I said, you're not moving Kane, you're not moving Taves, you're not moving Jones. That doesn't leave much else. Kirby Dach is a good player, but he's not going to get you much. Dominic Kubliak, he was a free agent. He walked.
Yeah.
They kind of had their hands tied. They had to make a move.
Yeah,
I
get it.
hated the move. I didn't like it because I love to break it, but I love it for Ottawa.
Let's see
Yeah,
here.
I mean, if the purpose of doing that is to try to be as bad as possible to get a higher draft pick, you know, I'm not ever in favor of doing stuff like that. I think that's garbage to do that. But listen again. When does that doing stuff like that always seems to not work out? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not thinking about when it did work out for teams, but it doesn't seem like it ever works out when you do that. Not for young players that haven't even reached their prime and they're already really good.
Well, ask Priz how he likes that GM over there in Chicago for that deal. Because he's in the same boat you are. He hated the trade. He said, I know Priz hated that trade.
Meanwhile,
Yeah,
Dylan was saying Jack Hughes doesn't know how to cook broccoli either. And then Ted said Pittsburgh has "Party Hard" by Andrew WK as their goal song, which they do, and it's the only song Andrew WK's ever done that's any good. And then Prism also says Pantera made a goal song specifically for the Stars, which, hey, listen, man, you gotta love some Pantera. That shit is badass. And
Pantera, not new Pantera, old Pantera. Original
oh
Pantera,
yeah, not
the new
the.
stuff.
I don't know what the hell they were thinking trying to bring that back. I'm like, yeah, Vinny and Dimebag are both dead. Let's bring Pantera back. Rex and Phil, no, stop it. Anyway. Let's see. Prism saying, I always found that kind of cool. And then Dylan also said Lindblom might get bumped down to second line. He looks so out of place with Huberdeau and Toffoli. Or, I'm sorry, Lindholm, not Lindblom. And then he also said Kadri will be 1C soon.
You got Lindblom on the mind from that tribute against the Sharks. That was very well done. I was glad to see that. Because some things have not been well done in terms of PR by the Philadelphia Flyers. It was good that they handled that well, and he was welling up. You know what I mean? But good for Oscar, though, man. He's working his way onto that team, making more money than he would have been making here. So good
Right.
on him.
No, absolutely.
I'm just happy he wound up on the Sharks too. It's like, oh, good. He didn't go to a team that I hate. He went to the other team. Thank you very much.
Honestly, I think it's a better opportunity for me. He's going to get more playing time. He's going to play on a higher line. He's going to play with a much, I don't want to say a much younger team, but a significantly younger team. And it's sometimes you just need that fresh start.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I think it's been doing well for him. Greg saying, I #disagree with the poll. Still a lot of season left for him to wear out his welcome. Starting off well, but we've been there before. And then Chris saying
negativity.
And Chris saying he got the Dallas Stars to the conference finals, which obviously he wasn't talking about Tortorella there.
No.
He was talking about Lindy. Lindy Ruff, who had those Buffalo teams who should have won multiple cups, never got it done. Well.
Lindy Ruff is not. I never liked him as a coach. I liked him as a player. I did like him as a player. He was he could play defense. He could play defense, and he was a pretty good forward.
Listen, I will be honest with you. I hated the Sabres so much at that time that anytime the Sabres didn't win anything, I'd be like, good. Sabres suck ass like they always did. Never win nothing. You pathetic. Felt good to be able to kick dirt in their face anytime we got a chance. But Dylan saying, Flames have individual goal songs for every player. They let them choose their goal song. That's cool.
Wow.
I like that.
That's the way it should be. Batters have their own walk-up songs. Why not?
Right. I
like it. Yeah. How about it?
And he says, Flyers having Becky Lynch's theme as their goal song is so unoriginal, as always with their goal songs. Stole Bro Him and the Dupe. Listen, Bro Him, don't you ever knock Bro Him. That shit was bad fucking ass. I wish they'd bring that back too.
Anaheim's goal song right now, I believe.
I don't care. We'll take it for the East. You guys can have it in the West.
They haven't really been home for me to see if they changed it up, and even if they were home, they're not scoring goals anyway, so I wouldn't be able to hear it regardless. Sorry, am I being negative towards my team right now?
I think so.
I feel like it. Dallas Eakins is out before November. I'm calling it now.
Ted's saying, wait, Dolan owns the Rangers? To man, that's rough.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't care about the Rangers. So, and that's been an advantage for the Rangers because he hasn't he hasn't interfered. The only time he ever interfered was when he decided, because the Rangers didn't make the playoffs for 2 years in a row, that he was going to fire the coach he was going to he wanted, from what I heard, he wanted Davidson to fire Quinn, and Davidson didn't want to fire him, so he fired Davidson and Quinn. So,
Okay.
and that was the bet. That was, and that everybody questioned that, but Gallant's been real good, and Drury's
True.
made some pretty good moves, so nobody's really complaining anymore. So, and by the way,
So-
Shesterkin, I don't know if you guys saw that save he made a couple of minutes ago on the breakaway. But when Trouba mishandled the puck, but boy, oh boy, that was a Hasek-like save. He went out, stretched full body, and then the guy tried to put the puck over his pads, and he actually picked one of his pads up and was able to kick the puck out. That's just that's unreal.
Still 1-0.
Yeah, it's still 1-0. Colorado is on yet another power play. It seems like the Rangers are playing better shorthanded than they are at full strength.
So, Ted was saying to you, Brad, would you say the Leafs are the Cowboys of the NHL? Every year is their year, then they choke?
Yeah, that's a really good comparison. Yeah, and they think that they're hockey central, just like the Cowboys think they're football central.
Right.
Yeah, that's good, Ted. I do agree with you about that.
American Loyalist giving us another donation there, $1.99. Thank you, man. Did not get the notification on that, so sorry that I brought this one up late. But thoughts on the Golden Knights this year? Well,
They're playing well so far.
Yeah.
So far, so good. They got to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's
If
true.
they stay healthy,
And,
they're going to be fine. If they don't, what happened last year is going to happen again.
all right, stay healthy, and hopefully the goaltending holds up. And then on top of that as well, don't get streaky, which they have a bad habit of doing too. And they did it last year, and the injuries helped do that. But then the year before that too, they also had a playoff spot that they basically handed to the Nashville Predators. So it's whatever you do, don't get streaky either.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting good defensive play too. They're getting good support in front of the goaltender. That's always going to make it a lot easier on your goalie to make saves and all that other fun stuff. They just need to keep up the goal support and keep doing what they're doing on the back end. Special teams has come up big for them this year. They're going to need to really rebound after last year.
But they need Stone and Marchessault to be them up their old selves.
I'm not worried about either one of them, honestly. I just think Mark Stone needs to stay healthy. That's the big one. And I know you were just saying that, Brad, but they missed him the majority of last year, and you saw how bad their power play was, and
losing
you saw
him
how
kills
bad their offense was. And the Devils just took a 6-2 lead on the Red Wings. Jesper Bratt with his second goal of the night.
So that'll be the end of their undefeated string.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think some of the Atlantic Division teams, some of the ones that were predicted to come in low in the standings, I think you're going to see that the tables are going to start turning, because when they start playing teams in their own division, in the Eastern Conference, that's where you're going to see it.
Did the Red Wings play last night? Is that why they haven't pulled Nedeljkovic yet? He's getting roughed up.
That's a good question.
The Devils have been, all right, the Red Wings defense has given up a ton of shots, too. It's 40-20.
Let me see here. Ted saying, do you guys think Chicago's being reckless? They stripped their roster down to the nuts and bolts, and they have Kane, Taves, awesome young players. As much as I hate the Pens, they're keeping it together.
No, I actually like what Chicago's doing, especially when you foresee these 2 consecutive drafts where there's a lot of meat there, and you still have that core of guys that can still get it done on the NHL level, signed long term. It's a real easy rebuild. That's why I kind of don't mind the Flyers timing as well. But I mean, yeah, I know you guys debated about whether they should have departed with DeBricket. That's a questionable call because he's so young, but I think with what's available in these drafts, I think they're doing it right.
I kind of think so too. I mean, I know a couple of us don't see eye to eye on the Brinkett deal, but reckless. I wouldn't say they're being reckless, but they're definitely being a little bit bolder than most teams with this rebuild, and I think they're trying to get out of it as quickly as they went into it, and I think that's why it's the reason why you're seeing a lot of moves that they've made. And when and if they decide to trade Kane or let him walk as a free agent, which I would trade him just to get something back. I think you're gonna see them really start putting things together a little bit sooner than expected, especially if they draft well.
Yeah, that's very possible with the deep draft too. A lot of good possibilities there. Ted's saying, how is it an original goal song? Should we lock the Flyers and Torts in the locker room with instruments until they come up with their own song? Actually, no, put Gritty in there and see what he comes up with.
Yeah, I
song's
kind of
original.
like the not Demolition, the Road Warriors theme song was pretty good too.
Oh yeah,
That's
for sure.
Oh yeah, I had to think about that for a second. Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, I think you guys already used that up there. Did the Rangers just score?
Uh-oh.
You're saying it wasn't in. I thought that was in.
No goal.
Yeah,
Dylan's,
I should switch it back because this game's over.
and Dylan's saying they would be better just have a DJ remix his post-game speeches.
Thanks, Dylan, for making the jump with us over from Facebook. I dropped a link. At least it worked for one person. Yes.
Yeah, appreciate you, Dylan. Always.
Yes.
Awesome. And then let's see. Roscoe's saying the Anaheim Ducks will win
what a
tomorrow night
rush.
against the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-0 at the home at the Honda Center.
Stop it. The defense has been terrible.
Oh, there it is.
We got this guy called. Oh, they just missed. We got this guy Rob Povia here. He's saying new goal song idea: Timmy Trumpet to troll Mets fans.
It's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, but that only works with Edwin Diaz, though, right?
Well, no, Wilson Contreras from the Braves uses it as his walk-up song too. So it's out there for a couple people.
Same song?
Yeah, but that was just kind of on the lines of I saw a lot of memes out there saying the Mets MVP was Timmy Trumpet, or actually the trumpet itself. So I know I am doomed to a life of misery. I'm just accepting it now.
I mean, it's what it's like being a Philly fan. It's just that's why the city is so miserable.
Yeah.
That's why the people in the city are so miserable.
I will say this:
you can't win shit.
I will say this though, with all the shit that's happened in Philly recently, with the World Series, if parades in the future, I don't know if the city can handle it. I think the city will burn to the ground. Honestly,
Here to give you something to think about. Think about how long the Phillies have existed. They have 15 playoff appearances in that time frame,
including this one.
They have
right?
like 5. Yeah, including this one. I think they have like 5 World Series appearances in those 15. Just something to think about. And they've been around for what, 100+ years?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other Philadelphia team was pretty good until they chased them to Kansas City.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't want to talk about
that. Then they went to
Philadelphia.
And then they went to Oakland. Yeah. And now it's looked like they're going to leave Oakland too. So the city chased them out as well.
They're going to be the wandering. They're going to be the wandering A's pretty soon.
Right. You know what? I'm surprised.
They can change their name to the Wanderers.
Isn't one of the? They're going to wind up in Vegas.
Premier League teams called the Wanderers.
Yeah, there was a hockey team called the Wanderers, Montreal Wanderers.
The Montreal Wanderers. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
They won, I think, one Stanley Cup, and then their arena burned down, and then they never played again. The
Nope.
team disbanded after that.
I remember reading that.
Toy, you talk about, like, imagine being a fan of that team and the arena burns down and then they disappear forever. Boy, talk about being pissed.
From what I heard, they didn't play for a season, but they were planning to come back the next year, and then something bizarre happened, and they never came back.
There's also rumors that it was politics, because back then hockey was really scuzzy and a lot of politicians were in there, and they would block certain teams from being able to get back up and running because money was loose back then. So it was, there might have been politics on top of that in terms of controlling who was playing in Montreal. But Dylan, let's see here. All right. And Ted said the A's have 5 titles, which is true. But it doesn't mean that they can't leave the city.
They're going to wind up in Vegas.
But I'm surprised no one has started up a. Can you imagine if somebody starts up a Bring Back the A's campaign to Philadelphia? That would probably go so horribly.
That wouldn't go well right now.
All right.
It might go well. So let's see. Though.
Especially with that baseball. Yeah, I mean, they are still better than the Pirates.
Yeah, they are.
Ted saying, would you guys be against moving the Phoenix Coyotes to Kansas and calling them the Chiefs? Well, I don't know if you could call them the Chiefs. I don't know if Kansas City would be like, no, that shit ain't happening. But you could call them the Scouts, which was their original name.
Yeah, I want to see them go back to Quebec and be the Nordiques again.
Honestly, I was thinking about this not that long ago. Really, to be honest with you, the only place I could ever really see them moving another team to, if they're going to move out of Arizona, if they finally give up on them, they'll probably go to Houston. Out of all the cities, because I don't think they want to do another realignment. So I don't think they want to move a team to the east. And
they don't have to, I don't think.
Quebec's on the western side. I think you're right about Houston. Houston's would be a good place for hockey.
And they have history with pro hockey. They had a WHA team, and the Arrows, and then the Arrows came back as a minor league organization.
Right.
So they have history with it. Plus, you could have a Texas rivalry between Dallas and Houston, which might actually increase fan interaction in terms of the Stars and in Houston as well, possibly. So the possibility could be on that.
I mean, it could be, but I still don't think, even if you send them to, I think Quebec's on the western side of Canada anyway. I think you wouldn't have
it's
to
on the East
realign
Coast.
much.
No, it's on the
Quebec.
east. But Quebec City is in the western part of Quebec.
Right.
Montreal is in the eastern part of Quebec, and Quebec's a pretty big province.
I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. I'm with you on that, though, Brad. I would like to see them bring Quebec team back.
I would too. I wouldn't mind if they did, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think the NHL's going to do it because
Gary Bettman hates Quebec for whatever. It's all on Gary Bettman there. He just doesn't like Quebec. I don't know what his issue is with it.
This is interesting. Dylan said the Flames actually threatened to move to Houston due to the new arena deal. Well, yeah, because of all that argument. I know those just recently started talking back up between Calgary and the city. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes, because Calgary called them on their bullshit. So we're not giving you money for a new arena.
I mean, the Saddledome's a piece of shit now.
Yeah.
It's iconic to the city and the league, but
Saddledome is probably the oldest arena now, right?
I think so.
It's
up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. All right, gentlemen. So that takes care of the first period. And the first period brought to you by, if you are, let's see here, looking to buy or sell a home, contact Alan Foy, eXp Realty LLC at 302-682-8820. Visit him at alan.foy@exprealty.com. Very important step in life. You always want to do it right, and that is going to Alan Foy at exprealty.com. And for all the comments from you guys out there from the fam, which we love, Gleason's Bar, that's who's sponsoring that, located 6700 Mill Creek Ave, Levittown, PA. Use promo code A2D for 10% off your order. Whenever you dine in, take out, you go to online at gleasonsbarandsteaks.com. All right, then. Second period, gentlemen. Flyers and Panthers preview. Robbie, I know you've got everything all ready to go in your command center over there. It's time to take it away, brother.
Well, we saw this, in the last game against the Sharks, but the Flyers really need to get better in the faceoff circle. Versus the Panthers on October 19th, they had a 37.3% faceoff win percentage. And in the last game, it was 43.3%, but it was in the 20s for most of the game before they brought pressure to try and come back in that game. And the shots were more lopsided in San Jose's favor, too, until the comeback bid. So I don't even consider the 30 to 25 shot advantage a win when it was just like a bevy of those low quality, low danger shots and scoring chances. So you win faceoffs, you're going to get more quality, more danger zone scoring chances. Now, speaking of shots, Florida narrowly had the advantage 35-34 last time out. But was really impressive, and what we've been seeing so far in this young season for the Flyers was they out-hit the Panthers 18-12 and also blocking a lot of shots, out-blocked them 13-10. So you got to love how the guys are sacrificing the body, shows how they're buying into the torch system already, kind of what we were talking about earlier on in the poll. Looking at special teams, Flyers were 1 for 6 on the power play. They're 20% on the season, a much vast improvement on last season. Anything would be, while they're 77.8% on the penalty kill. Now, Florida was 0 for 3 on the power play, and on the season, they're at 7.4% on the power play, the polar opposite of the Colorado Avalanche, like Brad, you were saying before, who are scoring at over a 50% clip on the power play. Florida on the penalty kill still getting it done in an adequate mark, 79.3%. So while playing hard, the Flyers would be best served to stay out of the box and not give Florida opportunities to improve on that power play, because it's going to go up from 7.5, but I believe they're like 2 for 27 on the young season. Bottom line, though, for Florida, Carter Verhaeghe has been having a great season. He scored twice against the Flyers in that earlier matchup. So you got to find a way to smother him and get him frustrated while without the puck. That's what they've been doing well, boys. And to Brad's point earlier on in the show, Florida has been a poor team on the road than they have been in Sunrise.
Right.
By the way, the Rangers just tied it up.
Oh,
Nice. And
Yeah,
then,
you guys remember the little analytic I gave you last week about
Right.
about the passes? If you're able to complete 2 east-west passes, it's a 50% chance that you're going to score.
Yeah.
That's exactly how they scored. They went across the ice twice, and Barclay Gaudreau had a wide open net.
Nice.
Even Barclay isn't going to miss that.
And Dylan's saying 2-0
So we've got 1-1.
Flames.
We got
Covering
1-1, and the Rangers are going to go on a power play, and it looks like they dominated the second period. By the way, just to put it out there, they're certainly looking a lot better now. So we'll see.
Ted.
It'll be a big win if they can beat this Avalanche team. That's for sure.
Ted said they snowed the goalie on that one too. And then,
Yep.
and Ted saying, "Can I use Manscaped to buy a home?" Well, you could build up your confidence through Manscaped, and then feel real confident about getting that home. Yeah. So yeah, technically, I think you can.
Buy Manscaped, get yourself groomed, go get an appointment with Alan Foyer at EXP Realty, and then you got your new home. Boom.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Boom. There you go. So yeah, you use the Manscaped to get a home. There you go.
Right. Everything comes together perfectly here.
Sorry,
Okay,
I'm
then.
a little distracted here, boys. I'm trying to make a couple dynasty trades here in fantasy football.
I see. So, gents.
Gotta sell. Try and get some picks here. Sorry,
So-
I gotta move. I'm trying to move Debo, and I'm trying to move somebody else in one of my other leagues. So
Sell
Gotcha.
Debo. Sell.
I'm trying. I'm trying to get 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and Khalil Herbert for Debo and Zach Wilson.
Nobody cares about your fantasy team, bro.
I do.
Zach Wilson, as in the quarterback of the Jets.
Mhm.
That's what
Listen,
people
the
tell
Jets-
me, Brian. I was just
The Jets
regurgitating
defense has been
criticism.
really good this year, but their offense, especially they just lost that running back of theirs.
Yeah,
That
Brees
was
Hall. I like the trade they made though to get James Robinson. I think he needs to get out of Jacksonville.
Yeah,
So
and I think they'll be fine at running back. I was kind of hoping if for their sake they got a good wide receiver, but I guess not.
Ted's like, yeah, it's a hockey show, Jessica Bryan.
Still don't know who this Jessica Bryan dude
You
is.
know,
So.
you just want to try and lie.
No, he's just trying to be fun, and he's really not.
By the way, did you see Hocus Pocus 2?
No, actually, that's the lie. I did. I watched it for like 5 minutes, and then it was really, really, really terrible, and I turned it off.
How come I'm not surprised? That's what happened.
Maybe you should give it a chance. It's got a good story. I hate to take the contrarian side there, but it does have a good story with the young witches in it.
Interesting. I did
Give it a
watch the
chance,
original,
Brian.
though.
Give it a
I
chance.
watched the original not that long ago.
Don't
only
hate me,
because-
Brian. I love you, man.
I don't hate you. I don't hate you at all. I don't blame you. I used
Did
to
any of you
watch the
guys
first
catch
one.
Night
I
of the
watched the
Living
first
Dead?
one because what's her face is freaking hot.
I watched Night of the Living Dead. I watched the original Night of the Living Dead. Watched the whole thing.
It was just on TCM a couple of weeks ago.
You can pretty much
Don't
watch
watch
it anywhere,
anything.
too, since it's in the public domain, which is why they have so many crappy cuts of it. People like to destroy a classic.
This one, the one that they had on TCM was the original because they had all the body parts that they were eating when the two kids crashed.
Nice.
Somebody when one of those things had a heart and was eating the heart and the blood was coming down.
Nice.
And somebody was eating the intestines and it looked like spaghetti. They were having spaghetti.
Fun
Yeah,
fact.
I haven't seen that particular one. The uncut version in quite a long time.
Right.
I think the first
that's
time
what
I
they
saw
do.
that movie was when I was 8 years old. It took me about 50 years to get it out of my system.
Brains.
I was traumatized.
Brains.
Oh no! Every time I had a nightmare, it was those things chasing me. Because everybody has anxiety dreams. We all do. I mean, that's just part of life. But for some reason, that was the one my brain chose to have all the time.
Ted's funny. Actors don't watch their own films. Of course, he didn't watch it.
I mean, you can sit there and make all the jokes you want. Sarah Jessica Parker has a hell of a lot more money than you do, bro.
Pretty much
she
everybody
is.
combined here. But
Make all the jokes you want. She's more successful than you are, bro. I promise you that.
Fun fact, though, for all those body parts and entrails and everything that they had in Night of the Living Dead, they literally went to a slaughterhouse and they said, "Hey, give us all your entrails and leftover meat clippings, and we need to use it for a film." And they said, "Sure." So they gave it all to them, and that's what they're using actually on the film.
Really?
Yes, it's animal guts.
Thank you for letting me know that they were actually real. That they were actual real guts. Now you just made it worse.
Right. Even better.
Well, I mean, that's what The Walking Dead does with their stuff. It's all food. Like they cook everything off and then they put it in food coloring and some other stuff. And there's a scene where Rick bit a huge hole in the guy's neck. They said that they used chicken breast there. That they cooked it off or they steamed it, and so that was easy to rip. And they use come up with all kinds of great ideas.
That was one of the Dead, wasn't it? That they had that scene.
Yeah.
I remember that. See, that was right at the beginning of it. That was right at the beginning.
Yeah, it was like the third or fourth season. Yeah.
Yeah.
He bit a huge hole in the dude's neck, and yeah, they said it wound up being like boiled chicken or something like that with food coloring and all. They did all kinds of crazy things.
Well, in the movie Dawn of the Dead, do you remember the motorcycle gang? They came in with the swords and went into the mall and were chopping off heads.
Yeah.
Doing the woo woo thing. And they're chopping off heads, and the blood's gushing out of the dead people. And I'm like, wait a minute, aren't they supposed to be dead? How's blood gushing through them?
Right.
All right, we only got a few minutes here left.
Yeah, we gotta
Let's
go.
wrap this
All
up.
right. What's up, Tom? All right, so gents, we'll go to the third period, but first, second period sponsor. Second period sponsor, All Campus OC. If you're ever down in Ocean City, New Jersey, and their lovely boardwalk, you can always head on over to All Campus OC. Sale they got going on is 20% off everything in their store, including hats, shirts to all of the subscribers for A2D. John Coyle runs that shop down there. Great guy. Also does the ramp booth, which is always a fun time. So check out All Campus OC and get your team colors. Wear them with pride. Okay, guys. So third period time. Anything from around the league you guys wanted to talk about real fast?
Yeah, can we take a few seconds and acknowledge how the Canucks have 0 wins on the season and a -12 in goal differential?
Congratulations, Canucks. That is what I'm fucking talking about, boys, right there.
I'm looking for Dan Mindel. Where's he at? I can't.
He's gone. He's gone. He ain't coming in here for a while.
By the way, do you think JT Miller regrets signing that contract?
He might. He might a little.
Right now he does. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some major changes if they don't turn this thing around. I know Bo Horvat has expressed his frustration with the organization and saying he's tired of rebuilding, tired of losing. He wants an opportunity to win. So don't be surprised if you see Bo Horvat's name pop up on trade rumors as the season goes along. Yeah, he's a captain. Yeah, he's a big name. He's heart and soul of that team, but he's also an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. So if they don't come up with some kind of contract extension or they don't turn the season around, Bo Horvat, he's going to be playing somewhere else.
You know what? He has every right to say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going somewhere else at this point.
Oh, I didn't know Nazem Kadri wears War Road. His undergarments is War Road. It's Kevlar.
Oh, interesting.
It's in the wrist. It's in the wrist. If he's wearing the pants too, it's in like around the ankle, so it helps protect the wrist and the ankle from getting severed if it should happen to be stepped on or kicked or something.
Well, that's a good thing.
By the way,
very good thing.
I'm going to tell you, how about the Dallas Stars this year?
Oh, they've been awesome. They're ripping and they're going. You know, obviously we know what they are in the back end. You know, they're a stronger back end team. You know, big time getting Jason Robertson done. My big thing, and I was actually talking to Priz about it earlier, and I'm sure he's probably passed out somewhere, which is why we haven't seen him in the chat. But Wyatt Johnson stepping up and really stepping into his role as a third line center, and he's doing damage already. He's got a couple goals already. If he gets sent down, I'm going to be incredibly upset with this Dallas front office because he's got nothing left to prove. He needs to play in the NHL. He's got nothing left to prove at the lower levels.
I don't think they're
130 points
going to
last
send him
year.
down. I think they're going to leave everything alone right now because you know what?
And I think they should.
Yeah, they are on a serious roll. I don't think they're going to have to wait till the end of the season to get themselves in the playoffs the way they're going right now.
And they have another kid on the brink getting ready to come up too. So you're going to have some decisions to make come the trade deadline depending on where they are. And I'm sure they're going to be within a playoff spot. And
I mean, you said at the beginning. You said at the beginning of the when I first started coming on the show about them being a definite threat for Kane. The more now I'm seeing it. And I'm like, oh boy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're not wrong about that.
Yeah, and they got the pieces. They got younger pieces to give up too. And that's the other thing too. I didn't even think about this until you just said it. They have another young kid getting ready to come up who put up 100 and some odd points in his junior league last year.
And Nils Lundqvist too, that they just picked up from the
They
Rangers.
just acquired too. Yeah, you know they got pieces to move and they got draft picks to move too. So they could make a push for Kane should Chicago decide to trade him this year.
All right, guys. So that was the third period around the league. Brought to you by FanUp. It is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports with daily NFL contests and more. You can win great prizes if you sign up today and use the promo code A2D for 5,000. That's right, 5,000 bonus points. A $50 value. All you got to do is go to fanup.app and, get in on the fantasy game like Mr. Daly and Mr. Povia down here usually get in on and earn some cash in.
I lose more than I gain. If I'm being honest.
2 weeks ago, I hit a $1,000 GPP in NFL. That was what's up.
My guy.
Nice.
So if you listen to anybody, listen to that guy.
Well, I just happen to edit other people and I read all the shit, so I got to play it. It's like free money, you know what I mean? And then we got our shit here too, you know what I mean?
Right.
Again,
By the way, speaking of free,
to him. Don't listen to me. Listen to him.
Speaking of free money, by the way, got a little thing going around called the A2D membership, which is only $9.99 a month. Perks include appearances on shows, members-only streams, shout-outs, and weekly sports picks from the Money Pod podcast and Willie Vegas. So if you take those picks from Willie Vegas, Money Pod podcast, hell, even if you shoot Rob a little bit of a shout and see what he says, you know what? Take all that, go to FanUp, or go to BetUS and make yourself some cash on the side, and before you know it, you're actually getting paid to be an A2D member. Huh. What do you know? We're making you money here. That's what we're doing.
Yep. And they'll never tell you to make the big play. They're going to give you a bunch of little plays that's going to add up as you go.
Right. All right, then, guys. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So on to the shootout segment brought to you by the doc, Dr. Paul Vidal over at Specialized Physical Therapy. Make an appointment at specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Head on over to Chandler Hill or Burlington, New Jersey. When Bry was up here, he had a shoulder issue, and he went to go see the doc, and it's never been better ever since.
Damn right. Check him out.
All right, then, gents. So, shootout segment time. And we'll start off with most surprising win so far this season. This could be from the Flyers, or could be from Brad, the Rangers, or from the Ducks, Bry. Most surprising win you've seen so far this year.
Honestly, I'm going to go with the game tonight between the Devils and Detroit. Detroit's going into this game tonight, and they're the only unbeaten team in the league. It's just to come out and just get absolutely smashed by the Devils. That to me was surprising. They expected that the game to be a lot better, and not. Devils just took it to Detroit, and they didn't look back.
I will say my most surprising win so far for me, Flyers beating Tampa. That was definitely surprising. I love the work, the hard effort, and everything. Like, you know what? And Ted's with us. Tampa win. That's the most surprising win. Go ahead and beat what many would consider the best team in the East. So there you have it. And Robbie, you were in agreement with that?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, during the game, we broke it down and saw how they were getting it done, and it made sense based on their inefficiency so far. But I just had that chalked up as an L looking at the first month. I said that this team would do quite well in the first month, but that was one of my losses for sure, and it turned out to be a regulation win.
Wins all around.
How about the Kraken knocking off the Avalanche in Colorado? I know it was an
That's
overtime.
A good one. That's a good one. I like that.
I thought I saw that. I just wanted to check to make sure I was right. I don't want to give out bad information. But
hey, listen,
that was a big one.
In the early stages of a franchise, you have those moments where you can kind of wear with pride. Kraken haven't had a chance to make the playoffs yet, so you know what? There's a prideful moment right there for them. It's like, we knocked off the Cup champs and they're building an OT. That's a pretty prideful moment right there. I'll give them that.
Listen, that's a prideful moment for anybody actually right now.
Right. Whether you've been around for 2 years or 200 years, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering, no hockey club is 200 years old right now. Montreal's got a ways to go before they get that threshold.
Yes.
All right. So on to our next one. Next one on the list is on the Flyers. Anybody so far that you see as a candidate for the captaincy? I know it's still very early, but anybody you think right now wearing the C? Early.
Boy, that's a tough one.
For me, it's none. I
Huh?
like them going without a captain for a while, and with just Scotty Lawton wearing the solo A. I mean, so he's serving as that like an interim captain, so to speak. He provides strong leadership and has a history with the club, but I think it's best to wait until a clear-cut captain steps up. I hopefully a young guy who can grow with the position and the organization. So, I mean, that's what you want to see from a rebuilding team's captain, as well as just where they're at roster-wise.
No, I'm with you 100%, Robbie, because I don't necessarily know if the next captain of this organization is in the organization right now. So I'm good with them rocking with no captain right now. They could very well bring in somebody in the offseason that you want to name captain or what have you. But as of right now, outside of Scotty Lawton, I'm with Torts on what he's decided to do. I don't see any captain on this roster right now.
Brad?
There's no reason for them to do that. Listen, the Rangers went 3 years before they finally named captain, and they named Trouba. They waited till the rebuild was done, and then they had a bunch of guys to choose from, and they made who they felt was the right selection. But they were real careful about who they named captain. Being a captain is a big responsibility. And sometimes if you name the wrong guy, especially if it's a young player, sometimes you can ruin them because it just puts too much pressure on them, and they don't play as well.
All right, and as for me, it's pretty much Superman. He's the only one right now. For me, it's all about Scotty Lawton wearing his orange and black cape and scoring some big goals, or at least trying to, and then somebody shutting the door on him. But
well, I mean, it's more than that with Scotty Lawton, though, because he's doing all the little things right. He's leading by example. He's saying the right things. He's doing the right things on the ice. You see him standing up for his teammates. He's doing all the right things. Scotty Lawton right now is the only guy who deserves to be wearing any kind of a letter.
Right. And honestly, you're right on that. I mean, and who would have thought it, too? Because Scotty came in a period where the Flyers farm system was not plentiful, and he was the biggest prospect out of all of them, had the hardest road to get onto the Flyers. And look at him now. He's one of the guys that's like, yeah, if anything, maybe do throw the C on him. I mean, it seems like that's not the worst idea in the world. Like, gotta love that. But
what about maybe Sanheim?
See, I've seen flashes from Sanheim, but I don't know. Like right now, I want to see more out of him before I feel comfortable giving him a C.
Okay,
right.
just a question.
Throwing it out there.
Not necessarily
throwing that out at you.
Not necessarily a decision they have to make right now. So
right. Yeah, is it a possibility in the future? Yeah, it's always open, but we'll see. All right then, and our final one before we wrap this sucker up, hot take of the week. Who wants to go first on this one?
I'm good.
You're good?
I don't have one. I'm good.
What, you don't want to predict that the Ducks are going to win out now for the season?
No, why would I do that? That's unrealistic of me.
What's a hot take?
Definitely, but
I got one, but it has nothing to do with hockey, so I figured I'd see if anybody had a hockey-related one first. But I'll just fire it out there. It's in terms of Halloween costumes, with Halloween coming next Monday. Happy Halloween to everybody out there.
Yes,
we'll see you on All Souls Day the next day, next Tuesday night at 8:30 as always. But yeah, my hot take in terms of Halloween costumes: slutty nurse is greater than slutty cop. Don't at me, come at me.
I like that actually.
Nice.
I mean, it could go either way. That could be a poll question for a whole show. Slutty nurse versus slutty cop. What's your favorite?
We're coming on right after Halloween too, so we could do that.
Right. You know what? You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make that homework. All right, fam. That's your homework. Slutty cop, slutty nurse. Throw it out
too. Jesse's back.
Jesse Davis, what's up, Jesse? Saying not a surprising start. Flyers always start season strong, like for 3 weeks, and then absolutely shit the bed. Well, yeah, well, we're getting to that 3-week mark, so we'll find out.
That's what we did when we were talking about the last show in camp before the season. My hot take was that the Flyers would have the best record in hockey for the month of October, and then it goes all downhill in November. So it's roughly about 3 weeks.
Right.
Jesse, good to hear from you, bud, man. We missed you.
Yeah, very much. All right.
All right.
Boy, Igor Shesterkin just made one of the stupidest plays I've ever seen a goaltender make. He comes out of the net and then gets the puck stolen from him, and they score, and they go and score a shorthanded goal.
He pulled the Carter Hart.
Yes.
I hate to say that, but Hart's done the same thing too.
You battle, it takes you almost 2 periods to come back from a 1-0 deficit, and then you just give it up just like that.
So I got a hot take. It's baseball related, obviously, with the World Series coming around the corner.
There you go.
Think. Now, this isn't necessarily what I believe, but this is just my hot take. Phillies take it in 5. Bryce Harper is your World Series MVP.
Wow. All right. That's a good one.
Brad. It's believable.
What is it, 1.70 now? It's with the betting line?
No, I have no idea.
You make a lot of money I'll tell you what, you make a lot of money if you pick that.
It's not what I believe. I mean, honestly, I think he goes 7 with Bryce Harper still being your MVP, but
all right.
It's going to be interesting. Should be a lot of fun.
I think it's going to be a good series.
Brad, you got a hot take?
Yes. I think the Buffalo Sabres are going to be a lot better than people think this year. I think they finally have gotten themselves going in the right direction. It took them 10 years, but I think they're finally starting to look like a team that has a bunch of number 1 draft choices.
So I was watching NHL Now earlier, and they were going between 2 teams. One was the Buffalo Sabres, and then one was the Detroit Red Wings. The question that they were asking was, who has the better season, Buffalo or Detroit? What do you think, Brad?
You know what? I'm going to go with Buffalo. Buffalo is not giving up a lot of goals. They're playing well defensively. Detroit has more talent, okay? But I don't think they play any defense. I hate their goaltending, and it's still not good, by the way. I think Buffalo at this point might be a little bit, as I said, they're not as, especially forward-wise, they're not as talented forward-wise, but I think that they're going to make a name for themselves this season and be pretty representative now.
Well, for me, it's a matter of time. For me, it's Detroit, and goaltending is the reason why. Because how long do you think Craig Anderson is going to be able to go? That's my only question. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that separates these 2 teams for me is the goaltending. I like Ville Husso, and I like Alex Nedeljkovic over Craig Anderson, and it's only because Craig Anderson's 41 years old.
This is true.
That's it. Other than that, I agree with you.
You can't argue with 11 goals though in 5 games though.
I totally agree. I'm with you 100% on everything else you said. Just for me, the goaltending is going to be the difference maker for these 2 teams.
The question with Buffalo is, do they have somebody in their farm system who's about ready to step up and help out? Because honestly, I don't know that.
Right.
Well, we'll have to wait and see as we go down to the season. And to finish off the hot takes of the week, my hot take is I'm still going to go forward with this one. I talked about him with the captaincy. Scott Lawton earns the captaincy by the end of the year. He's our new captain. Superman leads the team. You want to know why? The Justice League has a leader. You know what the Justice League has? Superman. The Flyers have our Superman. He's going to be the leader of this team. That's what we're doing.
I mean, technically, Batman's the leader of the Justice League, but I'll let you.
Not the crappy Zack Snyder one. We're not going that route.
Have you not read? Stop it. First of all, the Zack Snyder one was way better than whatever the hell his name was. Freaking Marvel dude. Josh, whatever his face is. He ruined that movie. But anyway, that's a whole nother argument for another day because we got to get out of here.
Right. All right, then, guys. So we will see you next week right here on a2dradio.com for another Hockey Happy Hour, of course. And let me just do a quick check. Do we? Yes, we do. Oh, we got a game next week, boys. And guess who the Flyers are playing?
Pittsburgh.
Nope.
The Rangers?
San Jose.
Rangers.
The Rangers. Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, good.
It is the Rangers and the Flyers, and it is going to be in Madison Square Garden. So
Over under
boy.
on Mika Zibanejad goals. I have it at 4.
Over. And then Scott
Over.
Laughton goal going to be at 4-2 just to even it out.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, well, you know he's going to score a couple because he always does.
All right, so that's going to be next week. So, oh boy, this is going to get very, very interesting next week, ladies and gentlemen. Brad versus us as the Flyers take on the Rangers next week. I'm stoked for that. So, next week, don't miss it. From all of us here on a2dradio.com, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace and love, everyone. We will see you next week for that big battle.